So at this point, we've talked about Five Nights at Freddy's. We've talked about 4 different Disney movies. And now I want to talk to you about, I don't know if it's the scariest movie I've ever seen, but 100% one of the most horrific, brutal movies I've ever watched since Ari Aster started making movies. I haven't had anything scare me this much. And nothing scares me in movies and TV. Just nothing scares me anymore. I think if you watch enough, you stop getting scared. But we're talking about When Evil Lurks. It's the same director who made Terrified back in the day. If you liked Terrified, you probably like this. Now, I think I like this movie more than Terrified, so maybe watch that one first and then come watch this review, because I am warning you, I don't really want to do spoilers, but maybe I should. There are some things in this movie that are so beyond fucked up. I mean, they're just stuck with me, and I don't want to do a spoiler review one and then a non-spoiler review one, so I'm telling you right now, if you watch this without watching When Evil Lurks, you're letting me down. Go watch it if you like horror. If you can't stand horror, or you're like you think you're kind of a horror rookie, like you haven't seen enough, maybe it's not a good movie. You might not enjoy it because you're not really chasing that like thrill that like big horror fans look for, that they just want something new. A lot of horror fans, like my wife and I, we just want something new, and it can be so hard to find that. When Evil Lurks, to me, is very much that. Stop watching the video. Go watch When Evil Lurks right now. If you make it to the scene and you can keep going, then finish it, and then come watch it. Otherwise, if you don't think you'll be able to handle something so outwardly horrific, like say Hereditary was too much for you, then yeah, you might be good to just watch the spoiler review. I'm not going to give a full breakdown of the story, though. That's insane. I don't want to do that because I think you should experience the movie for what it is. But without further ado, let's talk about When Evil Lurks, one of the most fucked up pieces of media I've ever seen in my life, in a great way. Like I said, horror fans, like hardcore horror fans, which is fucking cringe to say, right? Whatever. We look for like new horror because we've seen it all. A lot of the times that means you go somewhere foreign. This movie it's all in Spanish. Every second of it, obviously. That doesn't matter. Foreign films are great, especially foreign horror, because a lot of American filmmakers are afraid to do too much. Ari Aster, I think, does. And I think part of that is why some people didn't really like Beau is Afraid. They let Ari Aster do whatever he wants with that movie. And I love that movie. If you want to discuss that movie, we can talk about Beau is Afraid, but I'm telling you right now, I already love it. Anyways, the movie is about Pedro and Jimmy. They live in this like smaller countryside Spanish village. There's a small family with this like bloated dude who looks like a boomer from Left 4 Dead, and he's all fucked up. He's like on a bed. He's totally bedridden. He's got pustules and he's like a gross glob of man meat. This one dude is like, yo, fuck that guy. Like the farmhand guy's like, oh, fuck that piece of shit. He's gross. I want him dead. And then they're like, you can't kill him. If you kill him, the evil gets out. Like, that's the whole plot line of the movie. If you kill that dude, and he's already really gross. If you kill that dude, that evil gets out. And they do something really smart here. The kid that's with them, he kind of looks at a gun in the side. He's like, I'm going to get that gun, and I'm going to fucking shoot you if you try to go near my older brother. You're dead. By the way, I watched this like a month ago, and every horrific scene is still stuck in my head, and I still think about them for personal reasons. I'll explain the one that I still think about every day. It didn't bother me when we were watching it, but after, it really bothered me when I get to that. So anyways, this old dickhead like fucking has the 2 boys take the brother out to like the middle of nowhere. But they hit there's a kid on a bike, and they almost hit him. So to avoid hitting the kid, they swerve really fast, and the big bloated body gets out. Like, he falls out of their truck. He like busts out. Like, he breaks the back of the truck. This guy was fucked up. Oh my God. I think if there's a cursing quota, I've hit it on YouTube. I don't fucking know, dude. YouTube is there's so much bullshit. Like, you can't, bad for the platform, you curse too much. I don't give a shit, motherfucker. Basically, that sets up, he fucked up with that, right? He like, they lost the body, and then like, he eventually goes home. One of the goats has acted weird, and this guy's like he's sick of the superstitious bullshit, so he kills the goat, and then so he kills this goat. Now we're getting into heavy spoilers, all right? Warning, this is the point of no return. He kills this goat because he could sense the evil in it or some shit, and then immediately his wife takes a hatchet and fucking kills him. Just immediately kills him. And then she turns the hatchet on herself and fucking like just kills herself. And you're like, bro, what? Okay, then we get to the brother Pedro and Jimmy, and Pedro and Jimmy are like, okay, this is some real shit. Like, this evil superstitious stuff cannot be, we're fucking with something we don't understand. They think they understand. Let's take care of it. So Pedro's an idiot. He goes to his family, his ex-wife, and he's like, I gotta take the kids. There's probably gonna be some like demonic evil overlord takeover. Let's get the kids out of here. Let's pack up. Let's leave. He takes his clothes off in the house, and they have a dog. and the dog starts smelling the clothes. Now, he's aware that having evil on you means you have to get rid of those clothes. So the dog's sniffing the clothes. There's this whole long drawn out, like, I need to burn my clothes. He picks them up off the ground. He takes them out front. And then he comes inside and he argues with his ex-wife. And as he's arguing, this, like, adorable little girl is sitting with the dog that was sniffing the clothes. There's a long drawn out fight. And then the dog, like, turns to the little girl and grabs her head with his mouth, and it's happened so quickly. They show the little girl and the dog like 100 times to the point you're like, okay, that's not what's going on. Everything's fine. The movie forces you to bring your guard down, which is incredible. It's something you really don't see from a lot of filmmakers and writing. It's very smart. You're expecting something bad, but even though you're expecting it, he says, I don't care. I'm still gonna get you, and he does. I haven't screamed like that from a movie since I was a kid. It's so abrupt after seeing them so many times, and this cute little girl, so abrupt. He grabs her face and then he runs her out the door. He runs away with her. And then basically the new boyfriend for the ex-husband or whatever shoots the dog, and that essentially just starts evil everywhere, because you cannot kill the evil. You cannot kill it. That's the rules. So he kicks it off, and then we go on this fucked up, twisted adventure, which is actually really well written, I think. There are some mistakes here and there. I think with, like, they dumb down the characters at some points, but I think that can be explained. Some people will say that it was bad, but she does warn Pedro. Myrta. Myrta is someone, she's like experienced in this. She's really badass. It's probably my favorite character of the movie. She explains to Pedro that they will feed off the fear, and they'll make you dumb, and they'll make you do things that you don't want to do. They try to explain it away, and I think they do a decent job. So he does make some stupid mistakes, but I think it's because of that. The kids in the movie are really fucked up too, because the kids try to protect the evil, which is really strange, but it makes a lot of sense why the one kid was looking for the gun. And these evil are something else. They when the evil's out and it's in someone and they're causing their chaos, they typically like to eat things like brains and shit. So like the mom, after the new husband gets back, he runs her over with a truck. The little girl even told her, the little girl, when she got back, because she was unharmed or whatever. So that's not too important. He kills her with a truck, and then she's like pestering Pedro, who had taken his birth children, the two boys. He had taken them with them, along with his mom, who she's a total dingbat. She's a ditzy sumbitch. And she's like calling him, fucking with him, be like, I'm gonna get my son. I'll get my son from you. I'm gonna get my kids from you. You can't take my children from me. Basically, she does. And the part that has really stayed with me was she takes the youngest son, she gets him in the middle of the night because the mom wasn't supposed to use anything electronic or anything that emits light outside of like a candle. And she does. The grandma does. Pedro's mom. And she does. And this leads to the youngest son getting taken. Like most movies, you'd be like, okay, so now this turns into let's go save the son. No. Because Jimmy, who I think is a really likable character, I don't think Jimmy makes too many mistakes, tracks them down and finds the mother eating the son as she's walking, eating his brains, just like it's a fucking lasagna buffet. And it's really brutal. And with me having a kid, like my wife's gonna have a child in March. I don't know, maybe I'm starting to see kids stuff a little differently, because without a kid, you're just kind of like, kids die in movies. It makes it more interesting because you don't see it coming. That shit has stayed with me, because like a mother eating her son is about the most morbid, backwards shit you could think of. And it looks crazy. Like it is, they do not hold back on the scooped out brain boy as she's devouring him. And I believe in Terrified, there was dead kids in that too. So he's not really afraid of any taboo subject. So then Jimmy like runs him over. He's just like, fuck you. Hits the bitch with the car. I don't know if he kills her. I think he just like traps her, because he's evil. They don't die very easily. And at the same time, you find out the oldest son is autism, like or Down syndrome. He's got some mental disorder. I think it's like severe autism. He can't really do much on his own. You find out he does have the evil in him when Myrta's like, look at his hands. They're all twisted up and fucked up. Eventually he's going to churn, because she explains like they can get inside of his head, but it takes longer as a demon to understand the workings of someone's brain like that. Eventually later on the movie, he like walks into the room with it's really scary, and the grandma's like chilling there, and he's like, hey, make me some food, bitch. Like I'm about to go turn on the game. Make me some food right now, you slutty whore. And he like walks in the kitchen. I don't remember exactly what he said. He walks in the kitchen, and you're like, whoa. Because like the whole movie, he's non-functioning. He can't really talk or anything. He can eat and everything, but he can't really talk. And at the end of the movie, you haven't seen the grandma, the mom at all. And Pedro, his son's at the table, and he starts like coughing, and he helps him cough up his mom's bracelet. So he knows he ate the grandma, which is like really dark. And it's a really fucked up way to end the movie. Speaking of which, Murta gets a fucking shit stick of it because Pedro's like freaking out and he can't get to the bloated dead body after the kids fuck with him, which they did really well because the one kid, he like beats the shit out of her. And then she's like, no, please, I'm not like the other kids. I'm not fucking weird. But every kid's fucked. Like, kids can't help but follow the evil, like, no matter what. And they tell, Murta's like, they're gonna manipulate you, bro, stop, we can fix it. She sets up this crazy Da Vinci Code contraption thing, and she's gonna, like, save the day, but he fucks it up because he gets her, like, locked in this auditorium alone with these kids, and they murk her, like, pretty bad. And then, because of that, again, Pedro he's just at his wit's end. He's been through so much, he doesn't know exactly what he's doing. That's why he had Murta there. He fucking kills the evil, bro. He kills the evil, and the spawn of Satan, like the Antichrist, comes out of the big bloated evil dude, walks, he fucking rubs his head with his fingers and leaves this permanent mark, like the mark of Cain on this dude's forehead. He just goes to roam the world with all the little kids. He just like frolics away. It's a really depressing ending, but I mean, at the end, it kind of had to be. Some movies have to be depressing. You know there's no good way out of it. I know I said I didn't really want to do a breakdown of the movie. You kind of have to really get to the meat and potatoes of the grittiness and the disturbing parts that have really just resonated with me. The whole movie has resonated with me. The performances from everyone were amazing. Obviously, I don't know the actors super well, but they were awesome. I know the director because of Terrified. The writing was solid. I think a lot of people have some nitpicks with it, saying, oh, why did he turn into an idiot at the auditorium? Well, Murta had mentioned that the evil will prey on you if you're scared or you're showing any fear, and it will manipulate you and it'll trick you and it can get in and fuck you up. That's why people make mistakes. They tried to explain that away, and at least they put an effort into it. It's very much like the Cabin in the Woods, where they get shocked and they drop their weapon and shit, or there's that gas that comes in and makes him do something stupid. They try to cover why he does those things, and I think they do a plausible job. Like I said, all the actors, great. Some of the kids are a little weird, but like it's hard to find good, amazing kid actors sometimes. I think I'm forced, and I don't want to be one of those guys. I don't want to be one of those guys that is like never gives a 10 out of 10 for a movie. I think that's lame. It ain't that deep. I think most amazing movies I watch are a 9 out of 10, but I do have to give out a 10 out of 10 when I see it. And I mean, this movie fucked me up. It fucked me up. I thought it was better than Terrified. I'd probably give Terrified like a 9.5 out of 10. Really liked it. It didn't last with me though. It didn't remain inside of me and my brain for the rest of my life maybe. When Evil Lurks did, it's a 10 out of 10. It's not for everybody. This is going to be a 6 out of 10 for most people. It's going to be a 3 out of 10 for most people. But somebody that really likes horror, really likes gore, really likes depressing subject matter and just dread will get a huge enjoyment out of this movie. And I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. Best horror this year. Complete honesty. It's the best horror you're going to watch this year. If you really love everything I just listed, I want to go over to get gory, sad, crazy shit. I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10 out of 10. That's my first 10 out of 10 for you guys. So that's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.